Hey guys, I want to go over how to multiply a polynomial by a monomial. We talked about that in class, so I just want to go through the examples. The directions are just going to ask us to simplify. So what you're going to be seeing is a monomial of various size times a polynomial, again, of various sizes. So the only way to get rid of parentheses to go away with multiplication is to distribute. So we're going to distribute the 4x times each thing that's inside the polynomial. So we're going to get 4x times 5x squared. And then whatever the operation is, I just bring it down. And then I'm going to multiply the 4x times the 7x. And then it says plus. And last, I'm going to multiply the 4x times the 2. So we're going to get 4 times 5 is 20, x times x squared is x cubed, minus 4 times 7 is 28, x times x is x squared, 4 times 2 is 8, and the x comes on along. And there's your answer. Okay, second problem. Get a little bit more complicated. We've got negative 3x cubed y squared. We want to multiply it by 2x squared y cubed minus 4xy plus 5y squared minus 1. So, same process. We're going to go ahead and start with multiplying the monomial times the first monomial in the polynomial. So that gives us a negative 3x cubed y squared times the 2x squared y cubed. And then the operation says subtract, so I'm going to write that in. And then we're going to multiply the negative 3x squared times the 4xy. Now remember, we've already taken care of the sign, so it's already there. At least the sign that's in front of the 4xy. And then it says plus, so I'm going to write plus. And then I'm going to multiply the negative 3x cubed y squared times 5y squared. And then it says minus. And last, I'm going to multiply the negative 3x cubed y squared times 1. Okay. So negative 3 times a 2 is a negative 6. X cubed times x squared, 3 plus 2 is 5. Y squared times y cubed, 2 plus 3 is 5. And then I have a negative and a negative, so two negatives make a positive. 3 times 4 is 12. X cubed times x gives me x to the 4th. Y squared times y gives me y cubed. I have one negative, which makes a negative. 3 times 5 is 15. So notice I'm always putting the sign in my answer first, so I don't forget about it. There are no other x's but the x cubed. Y squared times y squared is y to the 4th. I have two negatives, which makes a positive, and then I get a 3x cubed y squared. And that's all you have to do. There shouldn't be like terms because there weren't like terms inside the polynomial to begin with. All right, I got one more, but it's kind of messy, so I'm going to go on to the next screen. And this one has a couple different things going on. So we have 5a squared times the quantity a plus 7. We've got minus 2a times the quantity 5a squared minus 3a plus 7. And then we're going to add to that 1/2 times the quantity 4a cubed minus 32. All right, so we've got 3 sets of distributing going on, one with a negative, lucky us, and then we're going to look for like terms. So we'll start with the first monomial, and we're going to get 5a squared times a, and then we're going to get, so we'll just put like that, and then it says plus in there, so we'll write plus. And then we're going to distribute the 5a squared times 7. So we'll put that inside. Now, here's where I'm going to do things a little bit differently. Between products, I'm going to write plus. I'm going to attach the negative on the 2a to the 2a. So I'm not just going to be distributing 2a, I'm going to distribute negative 2a. So I have negative 2a times 5a squared. And then I'll bring down the signs from inside the polynomial, so minus. And I'm going to negative 2a times the 3a, because I've already accounted for that negative with the black subtraction sign. And then it says plus. And then I'm going to multiply negative 2a times 7. Okay, now I'm going to write plus again between my polynomials. I may run myself out of room. We'll see how I do. So now I'm going to multiply 1/2 times 4a cubed. And then it says minus. And then I'm going to multiply 1/2 times 32. Okay, so let's do all those products. Let's see, 5a squared times a is 5a cubed. And then 5a squared times 7 is going to be positive 35a squared. Here I have a negative, so I'm going to get a subtraction sign. 2 times 5 is 10. A times a squared is a cubed. Here I have two negatives, so I'm going to get a positive, and 2a times 3a is 6a squared. I have one negative, so I'm going to get a negative, and I have 2a times 7 is 14a. Here I have a positive. 1/2 of 4a cubed is 2a cubed. And then I have a negative, and 1/2 of 32 is 16. So now what I'm going to look for is like terms. And I have 5a cubed, negative 10a cubed, and 3a cubed. So 5 take away 10 is negative 5. Negative 5 plus 2 gives me a grand total of negative 3a cubed. Okay, and let's look at, I have 35a squared, I have 6a squared, and that looks to be about it. So their signs are the same, so I'm going to add, and they're going to be positive, and I get a 41a squared. And then if you notice, I only have two more terms that I haven't dealt with, and that's the negative 14a, so he gets written down, doesn't combine with anything else. And then my last one that I have is a negative 16. And there's your answer. All right, hope this helps.